All right, I'm here behind Graceland, and I'm here with
Tom.
Tom, what do you do? What's this thing?
This is the Sun Studio Shuttle, and what I do is I take people from Graceland after they're through with the tour of Graceland, and I drive them up to Sun Studio and drop them there for an hour to do the tour. It's a free shuttle.
All right, here's the famous Sun Studio, where Elvis made his first record. Guided tours hourly at 10:30 to 5:30. And there's the building, folks. I'm here with
Jamie. Hi, I'm a tour guide here at Sun Studio.
And how long have you been working here, Janie?
I've been here almost 4 years.
4 years. Okay, could you give us a little history on this studio?
Absolutely. This place was started in 1950 by a guy named Sam Phillips. He started recording all these different blues artists, and eventually he came across people like Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, you name it. All those really awesome rock and roll greats, they came right here to this building to work their magic.
Okay, well, could you take us on a little tour?
Absolutely. Come on in.
So what's this first part here?
This first part is our, right now, incredibly busy gift shop. This is what you see when you come in through the front door here at Sun.
Now, what is going on here? Where are these people going? What are they going to be doing?
People are hanging out, they're buying things, and they're also going on the tour, which is really important to see the actual studio, which is where I'm hoping to take you guys right now.
Okay, so now how many times a day do you do these tours?
We do 8 tours a day. They're 40 minutes long, they're guided tours. We have actual people taking you through these things and showing you what really went on here in the 1950s.
All right, so where else are we going to go?
All right, we're going to head on over to the studio.
You got it?
All right, let's go. We are in the Sun Studio right now. This is Marion Keisker's office. Now, Marion Keisker, she was Sam Phillips' secretary in the 1950s, and she is the one who is credited with actually discovering Elvis Presley. A lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
This is how it actually looked back in the 1950s. You would enter through this front door here. This is where a very young Elvis Presley, 18 years old, walked through wanting to make his first recording ever. This is where Marion was sitting that day, waiting for young Elvis. Had no idea what she was about to get hit with, but she found out soon enough.
Wow. And pictures of your recording artists?
Just a handful of artists that we've got pictured up here on the walls. Just a smattering kind of the incredible talent that Sam had coming through here.
Wow. And what's this room over here?
Well, this is the most important part.
Okay.
Of course. The actual studio.
Oh my God, folks, look at this, the actual studio. Holy moly.
The way you see it today, this is exactly how it looked in the 1950s. All the tiles and the light fixtures, the floor tiles, even the handles and the locks on the doors, they are all still here from the 1950s. This place is exactly the way it was back then. We worked very hard to keep it as authentic as completely possible.
Okay, we're going to give you a little stroll here, and just to take a minute here. Look at that, even one of the original microphones.
That was actually used here in the 1950s. Sam Phillips left that for us so that everybody that comes through here and takes the tour, they get to have their picture made with this thing over here.
Now, these guitars.
These guitars have a lot of history. We own them all, of course, here at the studio. But you can see that they're covered in autographs, and that's because we've had so many artists come through here since the 80s when we reopened the place and forward, who have come through to hang out, do some recordings, and share a little bit of what they do with us.
Now, who's this?
This is Sam Phillips right here.
That is Sam Phillips.
27 years old.
You got it. What's next?
Well, I suppose we'll tell you a little bit of the history of this place. Sam Phillips started this place up in 1950. Originally, it was called the Memphis Recording Service. So a lot of times during the day, he would take all his portable equipment and he would travel all over the city of Memphis and he would record anything he could, just trying to pay those bills. But at nighttime, he was recording the blues. And a lot of times that happened right here inside this room. If they didn't come, Sam didn't go to them, they came to Sam. And it happened all inside this tiny little room right here. You can see all these tiles that we have put together here, and Sam and his secretary Marion, they constructed this themselves, and Sam actually got the idea for it out of a Popular Science magazine. Sam was pretty new at recording. His specialty was in radio. He worked for a radio station, so he sort of learned this type of thing as he went along. This is where he would record all his blues artists, and it was generally blues artists there in the beginning. People like Howlin' Wolf and a very young B.B. King, Joe Hill Lewis, Roscoe Gordon. Lots and lots of these blues guys came from all over the South wanting to record right here with Sam. And it wasn't too much longer after that that a young Elvis Presley walked through the door at 706 Union Avenue. He met Marianne up front there at the desk, and he walked in with his guitar and told her that he wanted to record. And she asked him what he sounded like, and he said, "Well, ma'am, I don't sound like nobody," which we came to find out very soon afterward that that was really the truth. He walked into the studio and played a little song called My Happiness. Marion recorded it for him. He got a copy and left with it, and Marion liked it. She thought he had some potential, so she made a copy for Sam. And she let Sam hear it when he came to work the next day, but Sam, unfortunately, just wasn't as impressed with it as Marion was. But Sam did keep Elvis in mind for a later recording a whole year down the road, and this is after Elvis came in repeatedly wanting Sam to hear him out. A whole year later, he comes back in here. Sam set him up with some people, Scotty Moore and Bill Black, and on this day, a whole year later, July 4th, 1954, he was standing right here inside this room. All the boys were facing each other, and eventually on that day, they got a little song called That's All Right. Sam put it on the radio, and it was huge. It just blew up, and that is when Elvis really hit it big, really got his start there, and that really did it for Sam.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history, as they say.
Wow.